Hi, tarot friends, and welcome to, I think I'm going to call it Second Impressions Sunday. Every Sunday, I want to take a look at a tarot deck that has been out for a while, or a lot of people own and have, and just kind of refamiliarize myself with it and maybe reinterpret some of the card meanings. I kind of got inspired to do this because I was playing around with the Fountain Tarot. That's today's tarot deck, and I realized, being someone who's legally blind and really enjoys tarot, a lot of the cards actually portray very well how I see the world, and that's why I don't really use this deck a whole lot, but I can't get rid of it because of that reason. And I would hope, doing these videos, that it would make me want to use this deck more. So this isn't necessarily a deck review. Forgive my air freshener. This isn't really necessarily a deck review. This is more of just kind of my musings, overview, thoughts, just random stuff. The only card in the deck I have trouble seeing, actually, is the Strength card, which for me is kind of disappointing because Strength is one of my favorite cards of the majors, and I always look at those at Strength and the High Priestess first. I pay really special attention to those because those cards usually indicate whether or not I'm going to like a deck or not. And this is just not my favorite Strength card. I have a lot of trouble seeing her face and kind of where she ends, and this lion, I don't know, honestly, I find it more fun just to call it like the face of Bo or something. I can't really tell where she ends and it begins, and it's kind of a mess. So that one is hard for me to see. But honestly, out of all the cards in this deck, this is the only one that gives me pause. Fountain Tarot, please aside for a second, is a beautiful deck. The backs are gorgeous. These are the backs. The cardstock is super thick and wonderful to feel. It's so soft in your hands. It's gilded. It's so lovely. I mean, this deck is just super airy. It makes me happy because it's so theatrical. All of these images to me feel like they could be on a stage, or feels like looking at a bunch of different kind of movement pieces. Each image has just a beautiful liquid fluidity and luminosity to it. I like how some things are opaque and some things are solid. So this deck is absolutely gorgeous. And forgive me, I literally just pulled this deck out, so some of the cards are upside down and some of them are not. You also get an extra card with this deck. And I find that, I love that Hierophant card too. And I find that it's really intuitive to read with as well. But I pulled some special cards from the deck because, like I said at the top of the video, this deck kind of sort of describes how I see. Some of these I pulled because they jog special memories. The Hanged Man, for instance, this looks almost exactly like a theater set that was done for a play when I went to college, and it was a beautiful play and a beautiful set, and so that just makes me happy. Pretty much the same exact color palette. And of course, I don't remember what the play was called, but it was very good. So I pulled this one, Ace of Pentacles, because a lot of people ask me what it's like when I reach the limit of vision that I have. So I'm considered legally blind. I have hypooptic nerve bilateral hypoplasia with nystagmus. And that means it's really hard for my optic nerves in my eyes to focus on things. So I can see about 1 to 2 feet, 3 feet maybe with my glasses on ahead of me. And then literally everything just starts to get blurry. And it, like in this card, it kind of sort of, there's a point when everything just loses color and it just becomes a muddled, kind of light tinged mess. And that's what this card reminds me of. And these connotations and meanings and everything, they don't make me hate this deck. I really love this deck. And I think I love it even more now that I'm seeing some of the cards this way. So with the Empress, at least the way my eyes see it, she is very much in focus and the background kind of isn't. So when I'm focusing really, really hard on something, the background and everything else around it kind of sort of loses its sharpness. I don't have any peripheral vision. I don't have any depth perception. So everything just kind of looks flat. And with my vision, that's the way that card looks. And then when I'm trying to focus super hard on someone's face, a lot of the stuff around them, their body, the background, it just kind of sort of melts away. So I usually have to get really, really close to people to figure out what I am looking at. And when I'm really far away, people just kind of become shapes. So that's the Six of Cups. That's kind of what that card looks like to me. I can't tell what gender those people are. I can tell they're people because I think I see heads and bodies, but that is about it. Actually, that card is really hard for me to see too. Not as hard as the Strength card, but still hard. This is another case of blurry background. And this card is, actually this card is also kind of hard to see because it looks a little bit like one color to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. 6 of Pentacles. So it's kind of just like a color explosion, I suppose is a better way to put it. Oops. And Page of Cups. This deck, the faces on the people in this deck are beautiful when I can see them. I really can't see the faces if they're so far away like this. I see a peach blur. And that's exactly what people look like in real life to me when they're super far away. I don't know what you look like until you get about 2 feet in front of me. So there she is. And then that's another just motion. I have trouble tracking motion. I have no hand-eye coordination. So that's what this image reminds me of. But again, it's also beautiful and theatrical. I mean, I can perceive color. So I love the coloration of this deck. Each painting is so gorgeous. I wish I could tell if the Queen of Cups had a face. But that's, again, that's just how... this deck is beautiful to me. It's just how I perceive people and my surroundings. What is this one? Oh, same with the Four of Swords. I think that's a person surrounded by swords, I'm guessing. But he is far enough away that I have trouble separating him from the background of the card. And Four of Coins. I actually just really like this card a lot. It reminds me of camping back home in Alaska, the forest and everything. But yeah, again, it's another case of the image in the foreground being fairly sharp and then the background being super blurry. I see tall green blobs, which I am assuming are trees in that picture. And last, I also just love the composition of this particular card. And it does remind me of something that I might see on stage or a theatrical set. But it's also not really in focus for me. And I think this deck in general just has a really gauzy filter to it. Everything is so soft and filled with light. And I really appreciate that, and I really like it. Whoops. So this is definitely a deck that is going to be sticking around with me for a long while. And I really hope to read with it more as summer comes. This just feels like a it's very modern, but it feels like a very summery deck to me. I think because of how some of the people are dressed and how they're moving. Kind of makes me want to go outside and run around. I love this. I could just see this happening on stage. I don't know how you would do this, maybe with lights, but yeah, it's so dramatic and theatrical and beautiful, and I absolutely adore it. I like the Two of Swords. So I hope you have gained maybe a different perspective on the Fountain Tarot, and I will definitely keep using it. And thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you all in the next video.